going to try to sing a song this morning that I don't remember of ever singing before. It's a very beautiful song. We were singing a while ago about that constant, abiding peace, the promise that he gave to each one of us, that I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Jesus is mine. I found him to be true so many times in my Christian experience. And while we were singing that, my mind went back across the years, just 8 years ago, when Reverend Bob Sayre was my pastor. Through his messages and the prayers of people, I found their conviction and found the Lord Jesus Christ one night in my home. You know, right after I was saved, I really had some big hang-ups in my life. I'd gotten myself in such a mess in every area of my life that even after I was saved, I was having a rough time. And I'll never forget one night, I got paid. I received my check. And you know, guys, I do with my check exactly what you do with yours. When you get paid, first thing you do with it is take it home and give it to your wife, right? That's what I did with mine. Well, Shirley, she knows what it's all about. First thing that she does with that check, she takes out the part that belongs to God. And you know, I was just a young Christian. I'd been saved for 2 or 3 weeks. And it just so happened that every bill that we had was due that week. And we went down to the grocery store that night to buy groceries. And I knew we didn't have a whole lot. And I asked her, I said, Shirley, how much you got left to buy groceries with this week? She said, well, let's see here, $6. And you can look at me and tell I can eat $6 worth of groceries and no trouble at all. And I knew we were in trouble. And it was then that the old devil just topped right square on my shoulder, and I began to doubt. And I said, Shirley, how much did you put in church this week? And the amount that she told me was much greater than what we had left to buy groceries for our family. And I said something then that I've always been sorry for, but it taught me a great lesson. I said, do you think it's worth it? And she bowed her head, and I saw a tear come to her eye. And she said, Pat, just for once in your life, forget about yourself and think about the blessings that God's given to us. And you know, I felt so ashamed. I bowed my head, and a tear didn't come to my eye. They just squirted out of my eyes. I looked around the back seat, and I saw those 3 beautiful children, looked just like their daddy. We had a home to live in. It wasn't paid for. But we had a place to stay, a car to drive, clothes to wear. We loved each other. And I began to count my blessings. Friends, let me tell you, they begin to stack up. Those blessings begin to stack up. God's good to us, isn't he? That taught me a great lesson. And it was my prayer that day that all that I am, or ever shall be, all that I have, though precious to me, my all I give, thine ever to be, all that there is of me. And friends, that's what God expects from each of us, all that we have. And friends, I've found since that day that he's never failed me one time in my Christian experience. Listen to the words of this song, I Will Pilot Thee. Sometimes when my faith would falter, and no sunlight I can see, I just lift mine eyes to Jesus, and I whisper, Pilot me. Fear thou not, for I'll be with thee. I will steal thy time to roll